Russia's invasion of Ukraine did a number of things I think people don't realize. It highlighted Russia's inadequacy to carry out a land campaign.
You can say that again.
Right? But it also highlighted that we don't really know the capabilities of any country that's out there. So anything you can do to try to make yourself look bigger than you are, quote unquote paper tiger, is what most countries are trying to do, right? So Russia's trying to look strong. Israel's trying to look strong. America does things to try to look strong. China's doing things to try to look strong too. But there's also a very real saber rattling that happens where nobody really wants to get too deep into a conflict.
Hold me back.
Right.
Hold me back. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like your original question was, what happens if Hezbollah really does go all into Israel? It's a bloodbath.
See, I think it's more likely that
crazy.
Hezbollah is going to do something than the Iranians. The Iranians,
For sure.
I could see firing a rocket at an Israeli embassy, let's say, or killing an Israeli defense attaché somewhere. Hezbollah, I think, is ready to fight.
And Hezbollah has been training for it for a long time as part of their charter. They're neighbors, right? Hezbollah stands a real chance. And what we learned on October 7th, yes, there were a lot of deaths. Yes, there were a lot of civilian deaths. A solid third of all the people that died were military deaths. IDF, Defense Force, Border Patrol, et cetera, right? So when anybody tries to compare 9/11 with October 7, it's not a strong comparison. You can't compare the two. You just can't. Not in terms of number of lives lost, not in terms of the fact that Hamas was a known threat and a known enemy of Israel for a long time. They've been oppressed for a long time, whereas the attack on the United States on 9/11 was completely out of nowhere. It was unprecedented and it was unprovoked, right? So there's huge differences between the two, but it's a very convenient comparison in some media channels to try to make them sound like the same thing. But one of the things that Israel has to do right now is also look strong. One of the things Netanyahu has to do right now is look strong. He has to look strong enough to keep the war hawks in his own cabinet at bay and also work against a current of unpopular support from his base or from the Israeli people. And the United States is stuck in this awkward position where we've been making our policies about Ukraine. Those have not been popular. Ukraine has not been successful in the way that I think our allies in NATO hoped they would be successful. If anything, the prolonged conflict in Russia and Ukraine has highlighted the corruption and transparency issues with Ukraine that have just made it even worse. So Israel the United States is stuck with these two slow horses that it's painted itself into a corner under the Biden administration with supporting. So if it's a Harris administration that comes next, she's adopting two slow horses.
So fresh, so